What's up? It's a View, and this is Chillin the Green Box. And on today's show, we got the author of the Plum Assassin, the Violent Eradicator, and the Purple Avenger, Danny J. Quick, on the show to talk about his book, Aceblade, and his company, Four Walls. And to talk about other things, all things comics in Carolina. So, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, and tune in to the show.
Welcome back to the hood. This is Chillin the Green Box with Specks, Thompson, and the View. And today's show, we got the man, the man of the hour, doing all the great stuff on TikTok and events and all kind of stuff. Danny J. Quick, man, what's up?
Specs, man, what's going on, man? It's good to see you again. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to do it, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. I would have like a little nice little intro. Call you the Violet Dynamo or something like that. But I ain't as crafty as your co-host. But for people who don't know who you are, give them a little brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
Absolutely, man. My name is Danny J. Quick. I'm the co-creator of Aceblade, King Supreme, and most of the Fourth Wall comic books in our universe, man. I'm an Army veteran. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Got 4 kids, man, and we out here trying to make these comic books, man. I've been making comic books for about a little over 10 years now. We got Aceblade number 9 is on Kickstarter right now, so we out here trying to make it, man. We all in the same boat, man. I seen you recently. I don't know if it's recently anymore, but I ran into you at the Atlantic Comic Con, right? What's that? It was Atlantic Comic Con, man. It was good to see you out there.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. Especially in person, you see everybody, you see on social media. You see in real life, it's different.
For sure.
You're in Carolina, and plus you was in the military, so I guess you're familiar with the electrical green box.
The green box. Wait, when it comes to the military?
No, like outside, like you walk out the door right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So did you hang out on those growing up?
Man, we were so the hood that I grew up in was called Bell Acres, man, and it was all, we wasn't hanging out, bro. It was dangerous outside.
Okay.
It was dangerous outside where I was, man. I mean, when we did get some time, we was riding around on bikes and stuff. So, but we had that similar experience of having to get in before the street lights come on, because you know what I'm saying. It gets dangerous out there. A lot of people, the homies joke on me sometimes because the actual city that I'm from is called Candor, North Carolina, and Candor, of course, is from the Superman city of Candor.
Oh.
So they always be like, "Oh man, you out there from where Clark Kent came from?" But no, it was dangerous out there. It was
okay.
It was dangerous in Candor, man. So, but we moved out here to Durham, where it's still not safe today, but it's more city. There's more city out here. There's more safe spots to be at, and it's a good place to raise some kids and try to make some money out here, man. But it ain't like Atlanta, man. Every time I go to Atlanta, man, it's a different vibe.
Oh yeah. You gotta be in P's and Q's.
Yeah, for sure. I got some good food down there though.
Yeah, but it take a while to get it though.
That's facts. That is a fact. Me and my wife were down there for some show. There was supposed to be a show and it got canceled, and we ended up going down there anyway.
What, Usher?
And we stayed. I don't remember. No. It was a comic book convention. It was a comic book convention that was supposed to happen.
Urban NerdCon.
I think it was that one. And we ended up staying, the 2 days anyway because I already had the hotel or whatever. And we went to eat at a couple of places, but it seemed like every black place that we went to, it was like I had to wait an hour to get my food. It was crazy, but it was delicious.
They said on the cheat code is you gotta be a celebrity or whatever and get your food early. So you should say, hey, Aceblade on TikTok, that's me.
They would not have cared. They would not have cared at all.
Yeah, but we'll get into more of that later. But in the safer neighborhood, the semi-safer neighborhoods, we chilled on those green boxes, hung out, friends. So
Yep.
I developed my show around that same concept, just hanging out because I've been on a lot of podcasts, listened to a lot of podcasts, and people get on there for like 2 hours and just talk about nothing or just one thing, and people never know a reason why I support them or do anything. So I developed my show so people know more about the creator and stuff like that. So they get support from the people besides that Kickstarter. Besides that, so like somebody listen to this when the Kickstarter ends, they can go to your website and purchase more books. So it's not
Absolutely.
Yep. So I got 4 different segments, all based around that concept. My first segment is called Breaking It Down, because on that green box you broke concepts, ideas down with your friends and other things. So I can break your brain down with some icebreaker questions.
Let's do it.
All right. So, uh, would you rather be in a zombie apocalypse type situation, like a World War Z type thing, or like getting attacked by ninjas constantly, like a John Wick situation?
I would rather be in the John Wick situation, because at least, like, I don't zombies are scary to me, bro. Like, I feel like if I got the skills, if I'm the baddest in the land and I got to go up against another man, I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? I can handle defeat by another man. But if a zombie bite me, then I got to come back as a zombie. I not only did I get beat, but I gotta work for the other team. I gotta work for the other team because I'm a zombie going to bite other people. So nah, man, I don't like that. So I definitely rather be in the Centennial, dealing with John Wick and them, man, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Genre rise. I ain't read King Supreme, so I don't know.
Mhm.
But what's more appealing to you? Like space age tech or medieval era, royal era?
That's tough because I love a good sci-fi, man. I love shows like Star Trek and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily about the technology. In shows like that, I love, traveling long distances, like light speed and stuff like that. Space age tech is very intriguing to me, but just because of the discoverability of what's out there, you know. Whereas I think I like the simple life where, medieval times, you got to go out there and fend for yourself. You got to use your skills to survive. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually build a community of people that you trust, and you got to know the people around you. So I think for me personally, I think I'm more intrigued by, or I would like to live in, like, the medieval society. Because I'm the kind of person I really can kind of get along with people, and use my skills to 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 give to the community, and build community. So, and if I'm on a space station, like, you don't know what's out there in the space, bro. You don't know what's out there. There'd be all kinds of aliens out there. The Borg is out there, the Dominion, like all kinds of aliens be out there trying to kill you. So I'm gonna go with the medieval time.
Cool.
What about you, man? What kind of situation would you want to be in?
Talking about the medieval or the zombies thing?
Yeah, no, the medieval or the space station. Which one? I'm curious.
I say space.
Mhm.
Growing up, I like the Greek and Roman stuff. I like that. I can watch the Alexander movie or the Gladiator, any of those. I really
Yeah.
like the Odyssey. Like the Odyssey,
Oh,
I
yeah.
really like that book. But
They got a movie coming out now.
like a movie or a
They're working
trilogy.
on the Odyssey. No, I think it's your boy who did 300. What's his name? Zack Snyder. I
Oh,
think he's doing the
I
Odyssey.
don't know if I wanted that style though. A 300 though.
Yeah, I know, but I think he putting some real money behind it. So
Okay, that'd be dope.
we'll see.
Yeah. But I'm a Star Wars fan.
Mhm.
So space, because like you said, you're telling what's out in space. So you probably go to a planet, and they might be stuck in the Egyptian time. So you might go to a planet, they still using rocks and sticks. You never tell them
That's true.
what's out there. Because
Star Wars is a good mix though, because you got the Force and you got the people, with the whole legacy of the Force and good and evil, and they kind of have that old those old medieval qualities about them, but still have the technology with the laser swords and stuff like that. So
Are
it's a
you
good mix.
a Star Wars fan?
I'm not really like I've gotten into it recently with the more recent
So
movies, but
you're a
I
Trekkie?
wasn't. Yeah, I'm more of
Uh,
a Trekkie than Star Wars, man. I know all of the like the alien races in Star Trek, the Ferengi and all the Klingons and all that stuff. But like I said, it's more about the characters and the stories for me. But yeah, I like both of them. I like them both.
oh, see, I never was in Star Trek. Every time I see that spaceship start going across the screen, I turn channel.
Yeah, they do got some strange ships, but
But
yeah.
I always been Star Wars. And you're right, they do got a good mix. But I was gonna say, uh, what do you view just the Jedi's as? You view them as like knights, samurais, or space wizards? What do you think they are?
I feel like they're more. I feel like they're knights, really. When you say samurai, that's a good comparison too. But I feel like the knights, they got their codes, but then they got their rogues too. People that go off on their own paths. They're really, kind of good and evil, and they got their clicks that they roll in. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think they're more like knights, but I can see it going both ways.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know, like I'm big Star Wars. I see them more like space wizards because
Mhm.
like I like the recent series. Not the Skeleton Crew. I haven't watched that yet, but the one with the twins.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of it, but I
Acolyte.
enjoyed that too. Yeah, I enjoyed it too, man.
Because
I like I said, I'm not a
because
huge fan, but I really liked it.
because growing up, I always thought it was weird how they kidnap kids, and I always thought like, are the Jedi's really good? Like, can you imagine like somebody using radar and finding you got special power, and it comes to your parents, be like, yeah, we need him. Like, go ahead and let's get him, man.
Like, yeah, let me take your kid 8 planets away
You never see him again.
for 10 years, and maybe you'll see him again, maybe not. Hey, just know I'm gonna wave my hand, and I'm taking your son. That's all I can tell
Then you
you.
think of the Empire of the Sith. What what did they do so bad? They just build an empire, and gave people jobs.
They was blowing up planets, bro. You can't just go out here and blow people's
You,
planets
you gotta
up.
put you gotta stump on one ant, to get the whole. But but they but that thing they use to blow planets up, they gave all them jobs to them people.
Hey, he said, "Hey, come work up on the Star Destroyer,
Twice.
and come up here and work, and then we just get rid of your planet, and you can just come with us."
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah,
Everything's automated.
terrible. That's terrible.
But yeah, that's all I got for those segments. I got a good feel of who you are. Now I'm gonna go to my next segment, called the back issues. Being in comics, all about back issues. For people who
Yep,
don't,
yep.
you read those when you're gonna find out about a character origin story. So, for example, you want to find out about Red Hope. You go back to the old Marvel comics and find out all about Thunderbolt Ross and find out how he became Red Hope and whatnot. So we can go back to
Mhm.
your back issues and find out more about your origin story.
Okay.
All right. So well, typically I'll be like, where are you from? What do you call your hood? But you already told me that. So
Yeah.
so Bel Air Acres, was that like a apartment complex neighborhood? What was that?
No, it was a neighborhood. Bell Acres is a neighborhood. Like I said, it's right outside the city of Candor, but it was like the black little neighborhood. Like it's two streets, that crossed each other. And my mom and dad met there. My one grandma stayed on one street, and my other grandma stayed on the other
Dang,
street. And you know,
you were never
and
hungry.
we were kind of in the middle, right? So, and then in between them, like the church, there's a church that we go to all the way down on the end of the road. But then all in between that was just violence. Like it was just the violence from one grandma's house to the other grandma's house was just violence all in between there. So
Dang, you sound like
it's like people,
you would live on the same street of Friday or the same street of Baby Boy.
yeah, right. That's how it felt. Except it was so like in North Carolina, like it wasn't close to a city at all, so it's like country.
You had dirt road.
But yeah, like there was dirt roads, there was little side streets. Like we would just ride our bikes between houses to get to where we wanted to.
Did y'all had the sulfur
But
water?
yeah,
Oh, I
like
hate
it was.
that.
We had to. Man, it's like people had well water out there. It's it was country, but still like there was the violence, there was the people hating on each other, there was drugs, there was all that stuff. So it was like a country hood, but it was still hood. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, two-part question because I want to lead into another question. So, typically I ask, what got you to comic books and whatnot, and comic book related TV shows. But before I ask that, as a kid did y'all get a reference to Superman, the Candor thing?
No, I didn't learn about that until I was older, man. Like I watched all the like Batman and Superman, like anything that was on Saturday morning, I was watching. Even at that young age, like I moved out here to the city to Durham, as a teenager. But when I was young, I was watching Batman and Superman and Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get the Candor reference until I was older and started actually reading comic books.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't there again, we was out in the country, so there was no comic book stores out there for me to read the comics. Everything I learned came from, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles, stuff that was on WB Kids.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So no, I didn't get the Candor reference until I was older, but it's stuck now. It's there now.
Okay. What was the first comic book you started reading?
The first comics that I read that I can remember were books that I bought myself, and it was the Planet Hulk, the World War Hulk series, when World War Hulk started.
So recent.
Yeah. So this is like I said, as an adult, I started reading comics. Like I watched all the cartoons. I watched Justice League. I watched all the cartoons. I knew these characters,
Mm-hmm.
but I had never actually read comics until I was old enough to buy them myself. You know what I'm saying? So World War Hulk came out, and I remember, I don't know how it was promoted, but I remember them saying Hulk is fighting against all the Avengers. Like Hulk is mad that the Illuminati sent him off the planet. Doctor Strange and Iron Man and all of them sent him off the planet because he was too dangerous, and he coming back to kill everybody. And I was like, I need to buy those books. I need to read that. So I went looking for them. Like I found a comic book store in Chapel Hill. Went, bought those books. Came back. Every week or 2 weeks or whatever it was, and got those books, man. And that was dope, man. I just remember, the event of it was so cool, and yeah, that was the first comic books I ever actually read were World War Hulk.
I had a similar experience. I had comic books growing up. My sister friend worked at a comic book shop, and she would like give me books. But like, I call it a nerd gap. Like you did nerdy stuff as a kid, then like gap in between like nerd stuff you did till you got grown.
Yeah.
So, like I missed a lot of shows like Naruto Shippuden, Young Justice, the Clone Wars shows. I missed all that in my nerd gap. But
man, that was some good stuff, man.
Yeah, I didn't watch that till 2-3 years ago. I still haven't finished. I'm on last two seasons of Clone Wars, and the last season of I'm on the Phantom. Well, when they all went rogue on Young Justice, I'm in that part now. But what got me in the books was the Civil War. They were saying the Avengers and Marvel superheroes were going against each other. I was like, what? So I had to start reading those online. I started reading them. I don't know, like they was putting like story by story on Wiki, or I don't know how I was reading them. But I was like, this is dope. Like what, Iron Man versus Captain America. Then when he got killed at the end, I was like, what?
Man, yeah.
Then the New 52. What was it that got me in? I think it was New 52. Maybe Rebirth, when the two Supermans, they had to get fused together. That brought me back comics because I was reading Superman. I was like,
when did Flashpoint come out? Because I didn't really get into DC at all until Like the movies, those movies were amazing.
Talking about the Snyderverse stuff, or you talking
No,
about?
no, no. The animated movies, like the animated joints that were coming out. I didn't really read DC comics until then. Like I was in the military at that time, so that had to be 2008, 2009,
I
something
think
like that.
Flashpoint had to be before New 52 because, um, like you, all I knew was Wally West. I mean, I knew about Barry, but I knew Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, my first introduction with Barry was Rebirth of New 52. I was like, Barry, like, this nerd.
What was Barry Allen do? No, man.
Yeah,
It's about Wally West out
yeah,
here.
Wally West. That's who was all on the show, just like Jon Stewart. He was all on the shows. Only reason I knew about, well, I didn't know about Barry. They never said Barry's name on Super Friends or nothing like that, so I didn't know about Barry. Oh yeah, uh,
Yeah.
I knew about Hal Jordan from Super Friends and stuff like that, and Kyle Rayner because of the books I was getting in the '90s at Green Lantern. But I didn't know nothing about no Guy Gardner or nothing
Mm-hmm.
like that. Impulse,
Alan
I knew
Scott
Impulse
Austin.
because he was in the Young Justice comic book series. Impulse,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So music wise, I know you like music. So what song or music genre or artist got you liking music?
I grew up listening to a lot of gospel, man. It was all gospel and R&B for me. So, being from North Carolina, it was John P. Key commissioned. Kirk Franklin, was kind of the gospel hip hop mix. You know what I'm saying? And then it was all like music, soul child, like soul music. You know what I'm saying? The Fugees, stuff like that. And then again, when I came out here, I got exposed to other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it was.
a little tainted.
I went to a predominantly white high school out here, so it was all like Linkin Park and Eminem and anything from Tony Hawk Pro Skater that was on the game. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. So, but then it was all hip hop. After that, it was J. Cole and Kanye and stuff like that. Man, it was all the big jokers. But then, like, there's some North Carolina rappers too that I've been following for a long time, like Fonte Coleman from Little Brother. Like that dude is amazing. Rhapsody. Like
Rhapsody, yeah.
indie rappers, indie artists that really have been putting in the work for a long time. And those artists I really appreciate too.
Cool, cool. Do you still listen to gospel?
Yeah. Still listen to gospel.
So so I don't listen as much as I did when I was like super attending church, but
Mhm.
outside looking in, I feel like I say the well has ran dry because I remember uh 2000 era, it was like hit coming out. Then it seems like after the Never Would Have made It song, it's just like the
Mhm.
same 2-3 artists putting out hits.
Yeah, it's all like Maverick City Music and like those worship hits, like the same thing over and over again. I think for me, there's artists like Jonathan McReynolds who are kind of young, who are making kind of different choices with gospel music. Like they're talking about their story and not just not that there's anything wrong with singing straight from the Bible, like singing straight Bible verses, but like who are actually telling stories with stuff. Like Lecrae is a I listen to a lot of Lecrae because his story is dope and he always relates it back to his faith. I listen to Andy Mineo, who is he's a white rapper, but he's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like he's really cool. He's got different perspective. Like I said, Jonathan McReynolds, and then the what's her name, Kiara Shear.
So it's more contemporary now, like you start saying. Okay.
A little more contemporary stuff. Yeah.
Okay. See, I was wondering that because I was like, it's a younger. Well, she looked younger. It's a younger, light skinned lady. She pop up on videos now, talking about she's a gospel singer. I think last thing I seen her pop up was an altercation on an airplane she was involved in. But besides her and Ty Trippett every now and then, I don't see nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need better marketing for gospel music, man. They just
Well, I don't know. on what interview? I don't think it was Kurt Franklin or Ty Tribbett. They said that the gospel singers, they don't see money in it no more, so they making other music uh, just because.
I don't know, man. It yes, I understand that, like, as far as commercially, but I feel like gospel, like, churches are always looking for people to come. Like, they're always willing to pay people. Like, even what's his name? Kevin on Stage was saying it. He was like, he made more money doing churches than, the mainstream stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like,
Bruce said the same thing.
yeah, like, I think churches are always looking for, like, clean entertainment, like clean stuff that people can come out and come together to do. So, play like church. Dang on, Tyler Perry made his whole business came from doing church plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing them churches and having church people come out. So
And they
I think
still never bought a DVD.
right. I seen them all, but I don't remember ever buying one. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. But yeah, I think there's an audience. I don't know, man, because you got, like, either a huge church or you got, like, one or two people in your church. It seems like these days, but they'll figure it out.
Growing up in a country area, then moving to the I guess the white part of town or whatever. I know you stand out a little bit. So like, when did you find out you're a nerd?
Soon as nope. I was gonna say Dragon Ball Z, but it was earlier than that. In middle school, I was collecting Pokemon cards, and that for sure was not something that everybody was doing. That for sure was not something that everybody was doing. There was like one or two people that, I can remember being like, yo, I got this Charizard or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the cards because the Pokemon show was on, even way back then. And maybe this was before the show. I don't even know. But
Now,
I know I had them.
if you're doing it before the show, you would definitely.
I feel like it was before the show. Like, I feel like it was before the show, and because it was nobody else, and the few, the black people in middle school, they was not rocking with it. They was only in sports, and stuff like that, and they was not rocking with Pokemon. So I knew that I was a little bit different in middle school, and then in high school when I started watching Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, like, it was even worse, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it was even worse.
Speaking of Pokemon cards, I know probably for years now. I know your son was into Pokemon cards. Did he play Pokemon cards, or he just collected them?
So he collects more, but we play Pokemon Go together, and there's an actual battle game, like a Pokemon trading card game where we can battle each other. Like, you can collect cards on the app and then use those cards to battle, just like Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever.
On the phone?
So yeah.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool too. So like, we play each other every now and then on there, but he's more like, he got thousands of cards, man. Like, he got binders and books.
Dang.
And all kinds of, like, full of just cards, man. Like, for probably 5 years, that's all we would buy him is Pokemon cards and Beyblades. It was like, that's what he wanted for his birthday. That's what he wanted. When whenever we went to the grocery store, the Dollar General or whatever, he wants Pokemon cards. So he was always buying them.
Are you young enough for Beyblades? Do you remember? Did you watch that? Or are you too old?
I didn't watch it, but DJ was into it so much that I didn't have no choice but to like get a whiff of it. So, like, I tried playing with him. Like, I still don't know if there's an actual technique to using Beyblades, but I never watched the show. I never actually watched the show. But we had the toys all around here.
Because I'm a little bit younger than you, but I'm a lot older than my coworkers.
You're a lot younger than me, bro.
Nah. Not if you watching Dragon Ball Z in school. But so they like 18, 19, just come out of high school, and they was talking about Beyblades one day. I was like, oh yeah, Dragon and Drigger. They was like, what's that? Like, how old are you? I was like, what you mean? That's not the basic names. Like, no, we haven't heard them Beyblade names in forever. That's like some stuff you read on Wikipedia. I was like, golly.
Wow. But it's crazy though, because you never know like what you can connect with people on, man.
Mhm.
Like if you just wear the right shirt one day, man, you might run into somebody and be like, "Oh shoot, I didn't know you like this. I didn't know you like that." And those are the things that's just like really niche stuff. Like me and my coworker, I just happened to be watching a Star Trek show, and he heard the theme music. He heard the theme music. And he was like, "Yo, are you watching DS9?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I didn't even know that because he's into like old, like he's a history buff and all this stuff. But he was like, "Yo, I love that show." And we started talking about it for a little while, man. It's just like you never know what you can connect with people on.
Yeah, I started my job during COVID, so we had to wear the face mask. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
be different, whatever. I got my face mask. It was the Foot Clan logo.
Mm,
Not the one from the '80s, the actual Foot, but the one from the early 2000s um, show. It like a
okay.
little claw like this,
Mm-hmm.
and people recognized it. I was like, "Oh, you know what it is? Cool, cool." Um,
Mm,
around the same wait, I think I had my first issue out by then, and I just said, "Wait a minute." They know what this logo is. So I started selling my books at work that way because I said, okay,
mm-hmm.
they know what it is. So, hey, you read comic books? Yeah, yeah. I was like, well, I got my own comic book. They're like, for real? Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Yep.
so I did like,
They'll definitely support you, man.
yeah,
The people at work will support you if they're into that stuff, man. I love, and that's dope.
yeah. Well, that's all I got for that segment. I'm going to go to the meat of the show, what everybody wants to hear and know about is everything you do. We just call it the hotkeys. Being in comic books, all about hotkeys, key issues, important stuff that can come out, like new characters, new story arcs, new artists, new writers on a project. As well as music, it's buttons on a turntable. You just can press to turn everybody up during the party, or buttons on a producer can press to put lit sound and stuff on there.
Mhm.
So I finna go back and talk about some stuff so people know more about what you do. So first, I want to talk about something you didn't bring up at all. So you was doing music before. You had a little artist rapping skills. So when did that start and when did that end?
The same day. No. Nah, man. I love music, man. I actually play a couple instruments, man. Like I play keyboard, I play drums. I can play a bass a little bit, and I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? Like I can write raps, I can write poems, but I'm not a good performer of those. You know what I'm saying? Of
Mm-hmm.
those raps. I can sing a little bit, but rapping is not my gift. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the voice or the cadence for it. But when it comes to like promoting comics and doing stuff like that, sometimes I'll do it because music is catchy. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'll break out a rap or put together a theme song or something like that for something that we're trying to do. But that's one of those talents that I just keep for church. Like I play the keyboard at church,
Mm-hmm.
play the drums at church, but I don't do it a lot for social media.
You never tried to do the nerdcore rap? I know you say you don't like to do it, whatever, but the nerdcore stuff, since you can do it for themes in your books. He tried just making like a song about Sonic or anything.
I thought about it, but it's a lot of work. Like there's a dude, dang, I don't know what his name is. Daddy Fat Snaps. I can't. It might be, but he did the Deku rap. He did the Deku rap for My Hero Academia,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's one of me and my kids' favorite songs to listen to. And I'm like, if I could put together something like that for Aceblade or for other indie characters, man, that'd be dope. But that's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work, and like I said, I don't have a voice for it. If I had somebody I could write for and they perform it, I think that'd be dope. But uh, yeah, that's a lot of work. Like music is tough. My brother is actually a producer out in Vegas, and even he'll tell you like making music, doing it consistently, performing, um, the marketing and all that stuff is so tough, and it's like you got to do it full time in order to really make an impact or to survive as an artist. And until you really hit it big, or you get something that goes viral. But yeah, that's tough.
Um, I worked with the music industry, worked with a lot of artists, them spending money and
Mhm.
whatnot. 2016, I put out my first single, not rapping wise. I produced it like DJ Khaled wise.
Mhm.
Music video, top production, promotion, all that stuff. I think I spent, I want to say $1,700, but I think it's more
Mhm.
like 2,100. Uh, uh,
Yeah,
never made that money back.
it's
But
expensive, man.
putting my first comic book out, I made that with 30 days in the Indiegogo campaign.
Right.
So I was
It's
like,
definitely
that's crazy. I like this little book, made me the same amount I spent on this music in
Mhm.
30 days, and I have in X amount of years.
Yeah, man. It's hard. I think it's hard to make money in music because everybody thinks they can do it. So the market is super saturated. But then you also like got to reach the right people. Like you got to go perform. You got to, do all this stuff just to get a record or a song in people's minds. But if you can get it in their brains, then you got them forever. You know what I'm saying? Like you get them, hit them at the right moment. But it's so hard. It's so hard to do. So, but comic books, like you said, I can put that same $2,000-3,000 into it, and I can put it out, and I can sell this same book at convention. I've been selling Aceblade #1 for 10 years now. I done made that money back and then some.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure.
Speaking of Ace Blade, what got you into making comic books, or did you do a novel first?
Yeah, we did a novel first, but
What got you
always with
writing?
the
Yeah, so
intent.
what got you writing, being an author, writing stories? Man?
Just my dad, I think my dad is like a natural. It's weird because now that I got my own kids, I always look at it like my mom is an artist. My mom was an artist. So she was always drawing and painting and stuff. And my dad is just like a natural born storyteller. This dude can captivate you with 3 sentences and have you on the edge of your seat for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I got a bit of both of those things from them. So I always wanted to tell stories. I always had a desire to write and tell stories, but also to draw and to I was a nerd. Like we said, I was a nerd and I was into superheroes. So whenever I was writing stories, superhero type stuff is what I would lean on most, because I love like an underdog story. I love David versus Goliath, good versus evil. And yeah, man, it was just natural. And then when I was in Iraq, when I ended up going to Iraq, just before that, I had met this guy who was like, man, he was talking about the superhero that he had an idea for, and then we kind of came together and was like, man, I think we could make this into something. And when I went to Iraq, I just wrote so much, because just to kind of keep my mind from where I was, from being in Iraq with stuff blowing up, I wrote so much stuff that when I came back, I had a whole novel. So we published that, and I was like, man, we need to make this into break it down into comic books, and learn the process to do that. And I've been doing it ever since, man. I just love it.
Um, so Ace Blade was 10 years ago, or the novel was 10 years ago.
The novel was probably 12 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then the first comic book was 10 years ago. I think if my math is doing the right thing. I think because we came out with the comic, then we did the Kickstarter for the. I mean, we came out with the novel, then we did the Kickstarter for the comic, and it took like 2 years to actually make that first book, um, and put it out. So yeah, I think that's about right.
Was it hard breaking the novel down into the comic book?
Um, Not really. Like the way that in my mind, the chapters are a issue. You know what I'm saying? Like the chapters were an issue. Now I did take like the first 5 chapters were the first 4 comic books, so it wasn't an exact breakdown, but um to me, there's natural starting and stopping points. Like there's in comic books, you always got the cliffhanger. So wherever the best cliffhanger was is where I was stopping
No, okay.
for that issue. And just kind of breaking it down and trying to tell that story in that amount of pages. So I don't think it was difficult for me, but I think because like I always had the intention to make it into comics. Maybe when I was writing, I was, I already had that in mind kind of subconsciously.
Okay. I did the same thing. I wrote review out. I
Mm-hmm.
think I write all my stories out except the manga. I write the manga. Well, I don't know. I think I write them all out. But the view, I did kind of the same thing. Each chapter will be whatever. But what got me when I'm trying to do the panels for it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think my method was three pages front and back. That would be an issue or a chapter. Write it in like a notebook.
Yeah.
Uh, so issue this issue right here, I had trouble because writing it, you got a lot of descriptions. Oh, they fly this way, this happened, this blah blah blah. But you turn to the panels, that's only one page or one panel because they can
Mm-hmm.
see it versus you got to describe what's going on
Right.
in the scene. So I had to add some more fluff to fill up that issue. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was funny you said about your chapters. I thought about my stuff. I did the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I had to add so much fluff. I'm like, oh man, this seems so long on paper, but
Yeah.
it's not long at all in the book.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Like some of that stuff, like I said, I took 5 chapters and broken down into 4. So some of the stuff I had to take out. Like some stuff I got overly descriptive in the novel, and I was like, man, it's gonna be 100 pages. Like if I put all this in here, it's gonna be 100 pages. So, but like you said, it helps when the artist can show you, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I definitely understand that, bro.
Did you have trouble dialogue wise? I had that. I didn't have enough dialogue.
I had trouble with it because in a novel, for me in the novel, it sounded one way, but then reading it in the comic, like I felt like it was slowing down. So like some of the dialogue in the novel, like I shortened a lot of it because I didn't want to take up too much space on the page. So like and I wish I would have had my editor back then because he would have told me not to do that in the first place. But um like just trying to keep it as succinct as possible, keep it, okay, this needs to be said, or if he doesn't need to say I'm walking away or whatever. Like you can see certain stuff that he's doing, like there's certain stuff that I can cut out. So yeah.
All right. What made you go with Aceblade? Wait, who is Aceblade and whatever? And what made you go with Aceblade?
I think so. Ace Blade is a Vegas vigilante, man. He's a vigilante superhero, and I think the reason I went with Ace Blade was because the themes in Ace Blade are so like close to my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like the valuing people over money is what I think is at the core of a lot of the evil that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So like when these powerful people want to sell people out or use these people, to me those are clearly the evil, clearly the bad guys. And it's hard for us, little people to fight against that because we don't have a lot of power. But if you can build your platform, if you can build your station to where you can inspire other people, you can definitely make an impact.
Did you pull some of them things from like what you saw over there because you start writing over there?
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing that I saw over there was that you know I think people are more alike than they are different. Like when I was in Iraq, the people who are supposed to be the bad guys, you know what I'm saying? If I actually went and talked to most of these people in the communities, like, because I was a medic, like I was a combat medic, so my job was to, if somebody was hurt, I need to help them. It didn't matter if they was a soldier or if they was a civilian. So somebody run up to you with a baby or with a child who's got burns all over their body, like my intuition is to help, no matter if this person is supposed to be the bad guy or not. And then you see mothers and fathers who just want their children to grow up in a safe place. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing I want. I want my children to grow up in a safe place and have better opportunities. So these people who were supposed to be the enemies were not really the enemies. It was the people who were manipulating the situation and putting these people next to people who wanted to blow stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Those were the bad guys. So, that definitely leans into you know, how I tell the story of Ace Blade 2.
What made you choose Vegas instead of Carolina?
Cause don't nobody know nothing about North Carolina.
I mean,
don't nobody, don't nobody, don't nobody want to come to Carolina. No, but I think Vegas is kind of like the perfect place to talk about greed because people go out there to spend their money. They go out there to risk it all to to hit it big. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a place where there's a lot of that type of energy, and if you're not careful, you can go down a slippery slope. So and then the people who are taking advantage of those people, you know what I'm saying, like the casino owners, the people who make these uh these slot machines, and they make these games that they know that you can't win. Those people are taking advantage of everyone in their natural you know intuition. So I just think that Vegas is kind of like the right place to put a character who's fighting against people's natural inclinations towards greed.
um, if you had to compare him to, like, let's say he was in comic book shop, he had to say, "Hey, I see your book right here. I like reading. I don't know,
Mhm.
X Factor. So what would you compare your book to?"
I think I used to compare Aceblade to Batman. Like I used to just say like he was Batman except black and broke, but I think it's more close to Daredevil than to Batman. The more I write and the more you know the themes kind of come out, and the more the stories come together, I think it's closer to Daredevil because he's got these deep beliefs. You know he's got trauma in his past that keeps him grounded in who he is, and um he's willing to risk his body for what he believes in. So there's some Batman in there for sure, but I think Daredevil is a more close comparison.
Okay. Um, what's going on in your story? What's the age range?
I think me and Morgan always talk about this. The guy who created Lumberjacks, we always talk about this. I feel like if parents let their kids watch Marvel movies, they can watch they can read these comic books. You know what I'm saying? Like if they let them go watch the Avengers, then they can watch they can read these comics. It's not too gory. There's not nudity and not a lot of cussing and stuff in it. So not super young kids, not dogman age kids, but kids who watch Marvel movies, I should say for sure can check them out.
My pitch normally be like, if your kid watch anime and Naruto stuff like that, I
Hmm.
definitely. But then I get confused on that because the kids be 10, 8, whatever, with the Demon Slayer clothes on, and I'd be like,
Hmm.
I don't know, they supposed to be watching Demon Slayer.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I'm a watcher. I mean, I know what it inclines, but I don't know. The parent knows what kids watch it. And it's like, okay, it's all
Hmm.
cute faces. Okay, this little samurais. So I don't know.
But
Don't
there's some serious stuff in them. Some serious stuff in them anime, bro.
yes,
For real.
chainsaw, especially Chainsaw Man. Like, yeah.
Right. Things get gory sometimes. Like, I don't know if I want my baby girl watching this stuff, man. Come on.
What got my family was Promised Neverland.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, watch Promised Neverland.
Uh-uh.
Well, I suggest watch season 1, and if you want to really like it, read the rest of it. But
You said Promised Neverland?
yeah, it's about some orphans. How can I say it? Orphans that try to escape an orphanage, and what happens.
I think maybe I have watched a couple of episodes of this. Um, the dark truth about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they're on this they got like these caretakers. I feel like I watched one or two episodes. My daughter might have introduced me to it, but I didn't finish it. I'm sure I didn't finish it.
Yeah, that was it's pretty epic in that one.
Yeah,
You think the kids are cool, then it just hard left.
yeah.
um, so 10 years doing books, you're on your ninth issue. So
Mhm.
what kept you going to do this 9 times in 10 years?
Um, I think I just want to complete it. Like I want to finish it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a story that I want to tell, and as long as I can figure out a way to do it without making my family go broke, I'm gonna keep making the books. You know what I'm saying? Last year we made some good money on these comics, but the 2 years before that we lost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a balance. There's definitely a need to kind of watch how much I'm spending. Promoting and marketing and getting art and all this stuff. But I just want to finish telling the story.
Um, so is novel finished or novel just a story arc or two?
I think I want to write another. I think I want to write another novel. I want to write two more actually, because I got an idea to kind of weave another story into the first novel. Because the first novel is 5 years of Ace Blade, and it goes from literally day one of Ace Blade to the death of Ace Blade.
Oh,
Well,
spoiler.
the novel goes from the beginning to the end, but there's so many stories in between there to tell that I think I could do it in a weird kind of cool way. That you can read, certain chapters from chapter one and see the effects in chapters from the second book. You know,
Like Star
whereas
Wars.
most yeah. Where most trilogies, you start the first book, second book, third book. I think my trilogy would be all together.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. If I can actually sit down and write, I think I would like to do that.
You said you lost money in certain years and gained money other years. So was it because of TikTok or just randomly?
Yeah, no, so we opened. I don't know if you remember. I opened like a comic book
Yes.
store. I opened a store for Ace Blade and our comics. For 2 years, we ran that store, and we had an escape room in there. Like we had good ideas, but because we didn't get a lot of traffic, we didn't have a lot of traffic there. Um, we didn't make any money. Like we was just paying the rent there, and we had bought like we designed this space and built this escape room, so we put a lot of money into that. And during that time, we just didn't like some months we did okay, but most months we were just, spending money. We were losing money there. But because of that, me being there in the evenings, I was like, I got to do something here. So I'm going to make this content. I was like, I'm going to get on TikTok. I'm going to get on YouTube. I'm going to make some content, put some stuff out there to try to sell some books, and was able to, build an audience over there. So when the TikTok shop came, when they said, hey, you can now sell your products on TikTok, because of the stuff that I did in that studio, I already had an audience. People already knew about Ace Blade, and we were able to sell some books. So now the next 2 years, we actually made some money. We closed down the studio and we made some good money. But basically, we made the money that we had spent the last 2 years. So now we're just trying to keep it pushing forward.
Okay. Um, Content. Well, we're Facebook friends. I don't know. Just you don't post as much, but it seems like you don't do it as much conventions as you did prior to. So is it because of the TikTok stuff being successful? You feel like you don't have to be out as much?
No, I want to do conventions, man, but conventions are so expensive. Like for me to travel, because like I said, I'm in North Carolina, and I don't mind driving down to Atlanta, to do a show. I don't mind going up to DC to do a show, but I'm not trying to fly and then get a hotel and then have to ship books. Like going out to LA or to you know dang on Texas, or these other places where these big shows are, even like C2E2 or anything like that. It costs so much to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like I could bring all the books that I can carry in my book bag and do it like that, but I'm not gonna make my money back doing that. You know what I'm saying? If I got to spend $1,500, if I got to spend $400 on the table, then $200 on a hotel, and then $400 on a flight there and back, and then all that I got to eat. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of expenses that go into doing shows, and it's hard to make that money back. And like I said, I got to be careful about that balance of, okay, is this show going to be worth it for me to go to? And a lot of them just aren't these days because they're so expensive. And unless now that I'm finding out, like, if I do the work beforehand, I can usually make some money. Like, if I can promote that I'm going to be at a show, if I put the content out to say, hey, we're going to be at this show this day, if I start, 2 weeks beforehand saying, hey, we're going to be out here, we're going to be doing the show, we're going to have this, we're going to have that, or I work with the show to promote them and they promote us, then usually I can make some money because people show up. So, oh, I saw you on Instagram, and I saw you on TikTok. I saw this. Let me buy some books from you. It's easier to make that money back then, but I didn't know that before.
Okay.
I didn't know that before. So, the shows that I'm going to this year, like even the one that we did in Charlotte, like we made sure that we, promoted that we were going to be there, and then people expected to come see us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. It's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work, but it's got to get done.
Marketing wise, I feel like you market yourself way more than the rest of the creators. Um, Either you actually selling stuff or you just good marketing, but you have more merch. Uh, you actually have shoes and toys and hats people actually
Mhm.
buy. So, like,
Yeah,
uh, what made you? Was it like a request or just you being yourself and you wanted them items?
I think I think it helped. I realized that it helped to have something new for the Kickstarters,
Mm-hmm.
right? So every Kickstarter we try to bring something new, whether it was the hats we brought out, we brought the shoes for one Kickstarter. I think that was Villain Season, that was issue 5. We did the shoes. We did book bags one time because back to school was about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, just having something to be able to say, hey, we got something new for the people who already got all the comics. Like the 100 people that are gonna buy Aceblade comics whenever we do a Kickstarter. Hey, now we got a hat if you like hats. So now we got a T-shirt. Now we got the Stay Vigilant hoodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different things. We got the action figures made. They were expensive, but people have spent $200 on these action
Dang.
figures. Like, you only need 5 people to buy them. Only only need 5 people to buy them, and I can make my money back. You know what I'm saying? So, we try to, like I said, it's a balance, man. Like, if I were to get 30 of these action figures made, I might not be able to sell them. But if we do 5, I know I can sell 5, and I know I can use the one that I have to make content, do a little stop motion and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's just trying to find new ways to keep people engaged, keep people coming back, and as long as it don't break the bank, I'm gonna try it, man. I'm gonna try it, and if I'm excited about it, I know other people will be excited about it. So, like I said, I only need 5-10 people to do it,
Hmm.
and it's worth it. So,
Yeah, I want to get into the toy thing. I went Augusta. That's why I live in Augusta. It's 2 hours away from Atlanta.
mhm.
Um, they have a big GI Joe convention here called Joe Fest, and
Okay.
it's a toy convention. I went there last year, and they're pretty good, but the toys did better. And when I
Mm.
discovered the toy people, they had like, I mean, this is not action figure, but they had like this little toy, and
Mhm.
that whole toy it had a whole backstory behind it, or they might have books. And I was like, oh man, I'm doing comic books wrong. I should have me a toy.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
and they were selling them for like maybe 200 like you, or maybe a little bit less. I'm like, man, they making bread because like
Yeah.
once you get the molding, you
Ah,
good.
man, my homeboy, he does like rings. He does like comic book rings. Like, he started doing just Green Lantern rings. Like, this my wedding ring. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a Black Panther. It's a Black Panther ring.
Is it
You know what I'm
metal?
saying? It's metal. Like,
Okay.
this is legit silver. It's made out of good stuff. But he goes to these conventions and he be killing it. Like, people want stuff like that to go with the stuff that they love so much. Like you said, like we was talking about earlier, you wear a T-shirt with you got the Foot Clan logo on your mask. People connect to that. So if you put that on like a necklace or a T-shirt, or you got an action figure, people definitely buy it.
Yeah. Um. So speaking of new things and Kickstarters, whatever, you got Kickstarter going on right now. Uh. So what's new about issue 9 and what you got going on?
Issue 9, man, we decided to focus on. So the story so far is that One of Aceblade students got caught up with the villains, and she got locked up. Um, Now Aceblade is frustrated because he's just a man. He doesn't have the connections in the city to kind of get her out to prove that she's innocent. And he tried to break her out. You know what I'm saying? He tried to break her out of prison, and that caused a lot of chaos. Now we're focusing on her side of the story, like from her perspective. She sees Aceblade as making things worse. So we're trying to focus on her as a character and what her backstory is, to kind of get people to empathize with her and see the consequences of Aceblade's actions have not necessarily been good for her. And then leading into issue 10 will be the climax.
Okay. And issue 10, that'll be the end of that story arc?
Yeah. It'll be the last one in Cream, and I think we're gonna do an omnibus, like put 1 through 10 all together in a hardcover. Once we get that one done.
Okay. Your company, what, Fourth Wall, right? That's you?
Yep.
So, what's all under your umbrella?
Right now we got Aceblade, we got King Supreme, we got Lumberjacks, we got Harlem, who is Lumberjacks' niece. That one's created by Morgan Iverson. We also got Queen Zaje, which is not out yet. And we got your boy, I know Rolam, right?
Yeah,
He's
Scarlet Ranger.
Scarlet Ranger. So we don't got Scarlet Ranger, but Rolam is writing a story called A Matter of Shadows for the Fourth Wall universe. Okay. And it's gonna be a little darker, but that's
Wally
another
too,
one.
Right?
Yeah, Wally's co-created King Supreme.
Okay.
He's got King Supreme. So we got me, Morgan, Ro, and Wally, who created most of the stories in there for the Fourth Wall universe. And we got some more stuff coming too, but we're not trying to go too fast. We're not trying to go too fast and lose our way, trying to make sure that we build it properly.
Now, what made you bring them together?
Just man, I like working with dope people, man. I've been working with these dudes forever. For his 10 years, I think Wally was one of the first artists I ever had draw Aceblade, and I just love his art. You know what I'm saying? He's just a talented dude. Just seeing people like Ro always supported the comics, and I love Scarlet Ranger. Like Scarlet Ranger, I read the first issue and I was like, this is how you start a comic book. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I would love to. We had been trying to get him to bring Scarlet Ranger in the Fourth Wall and to the universe forever. And he kept telling us no. He kept saying no. But we might have some ideas for crossovers and stuff like that in the future. So, just wanting to work with the brothers and keep it going and building is in the right time. Like I said, we got Kyron, my co-host for the Foretells podcast. He's doing some art for us, and Brian J. Lambert from Wingless Comics is editing the book. So it's just building a community, man, like you doing here with this show. Helping to build a community, and that's what's important.
All right. Speaking of collaborations, I see with your variant covers, you always insert other people's characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
So is the Aceblade universe, is it a multiversal thing, or you just highlighting characters?
Nah, just highlighting characters. We like to do fun stuff like the one with Fish Lee with his character from Green Zone. He did a version for me to use, and he did a version for him to use, just as a crossover to help promote each other's books and do something kind of exclusive. So yeah, man, just trying to kind of highlight each other and stuff like that, because you got to, like, I try to use my platform, whatever platform I got. If I can find the time, I'm going to talk about people's comics. I can't just talk about Aceblade. I mean, I could talk about Aceblade all the time, but it ain't no fun to do that. Yeah. It ain't no fun to do that. So, if I can make a post about, a comic book, or somebody got a Kickstarter, or, I'm reading somebody's book and I want to talk about it, man, I say do that kind of stuff.
All right. Speaking of talking about it, you got 2 podcasts. First one, Top 5. So what made you start Top 5?
Top 5 is Morgan's baby, man. Morgan Iverson, he had the idea. He just wanted to do something outside of comics. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can always kind of have a debate about whatever's going on in the world, but then also come together and talk about, something dope that we like. So That's why we do a top 5 list. We just bring it together, say, hey, we're gonna talk about whatever happened this weekend, like the All-Star weekend happened, whatever's going on with politics and the election or sports or whatever. But then in the end, hey, let's talk about something that we can all agree on or disagree on. And we say, hey, we got these top 5 lists, and that's how we, kind of tie the show together. So it's just another way to get together and talk with your bros, man. Like we have people come on the show and just talk, man, and just talk and enjoy each other, once a week. And it's fun, man. Just like chilling on the green box, man. We out here just talking and enjoying each other. And then the Four Tales podcast is where we, highlight comic book creators. You know what I'm saying? The other podcast with Kyron is where because really we had the idea was like, man, there's not a lot of places to go when you want to talk about your comics. Like there's not a lot of platforms to go on and just talk about your comics and promote your comics and hear what your story is about. So we decided to make that podcast for that. And I think we need more stuff like that. Like we need your show, we need our show, we need other people to do that consistently. We need Blurt Without Fear and Comics Are Dope, and we need all these platforms to do these things because you never know who will run into your stuff where.
Yeah. So I haven't done an interview since August. I felt burnt out, doing the show. Like, nothing happening, what really burnt me out was like, let's say for you example, me and you do the interview, and you don't share it or talk about it on your page or anything. I'm here I'm promoting you, like you at least share it so your fans can see the video, like some stuff like that happened.
Yep.
But then while I wasn't doing it, people was asking me to be on the show. Facebook actually started giving me little checks for my views. And I'm like, so once I stopped, everything started happening. But some of my guests, you had named Blur Without Fear. I had interviewed him, and another guest. I don't know, was Mario? I don't know, but before I hit what. Never mind. It's somebody else. I haven't announced yet. I interviewed. They had seen me prior to and knew it was okay for them to come on my show. They seen the other guests. What really did a lot of people was either August St. John, Austin St. John be on my show, and Tribe Comics.
Yeah.
They see they see them. They be like, oh my god, you had them. Like I gotta do your show. And I'm like, cool. But just trying to do interviews, like I type in your interview, like I type in, Danny J Quick interview on YouTube. Wait, probably come up a couple times, or I type in Aceblade comment, ain't really too many sources. Even with somebody major, I can do what Scott Snyder, he only gonna come up like 3 or 4 times. So it's not a many avenues. So you are right. We do need a whole lot. I started 2019 doing my comic book, and some of the podcasts I went on doing my first 2 issues, they're not even around no more. They just died out.
Right.
Couple of popular ones. I was like, man, I think your podcast still around. Was it Pop Anime Podcast? Whatever it is, that's still around. And there's a few.
It's a few with some longevity.
Javon's podcast is still around.
But Visually Stoked.
Yeah, but some of the rest of them just fizzled away. One I always questioned was you probably remember the guy Varian.
Oh yeah. He had a show for a while. I think he got sick though, man. Like there's
stuff like that. Like he had everything going. Like he was one of the popular ones. Then he got sick.
It's tough. It's tough for sure.
Closing out this segment. Did I miss something I want to talk about? Podcast. I think that's everything. Would you want to write for another company like Image, DC, Marvel, whatnot?
Yeah, man. I got plenty of ideas. I want to pitch a idea for DC Comics. I got a great Green Lantern story in mind. And if I can't get to them, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make my own Green Lantern story and just do it, because it's been in my head for like 3 years now, and I just need to run into the people that I can pitch it to so they can let me make it. But I got all kinds of ideas. Like I said, we got the Ballad of the Black Rose that we're doing with Bequest Studios, and we got like I got so many ideas, man. I just want to write and create. So hopefully, I keep getting a chance to do it.
Okay. Um, Now on your show, you had big guests yourself, you had like Eric Lawson and stuff like that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
um, so like you've been doing and going on more cons than me. So have you seen the opportunity to say, hey, pitch this thing to one of these bigger names, or you think it's a little more to it than that?
I don't use. I've never. I probably should have, because that makes sense. But when we ever have, like we had, like you said, Eric Larson on there. We don't talk to him necessarily about like pitching stuff. Like we might pick their brain about the process to submit something to Image or something like that. But I'm just not the type to use like the platform, because really I don't know, man. I probably should, because that's
Uh-oh,
the time
scratching
that
their
you got
head.
that's the time that you actually have like the captive. You got them right there. Uh, I don't know. I might have to change it up in the future, but it just never occurred to me to be like, hey, I got this idea. Who can I send it to? I probably could have been writing that Green Lantern comic by now. Who knows?
Yeah, one of my early interviews, he was an artist. Can't think of his name right now. Zach Howard, maybe. I interviewed. Now he wrote for, not wrote. He drew for Hellboy, and at the time he was on a Kickstarter for Redneck Bigfoot or Bigfoot something. And that book at the time he was a Kickstarter, and while he was on Kickstarter, he got picked up. But I don't know if it was on camera, off camera. He was like, when I'm ready, hit him up. So by the book, I was like, ugh, when it's ready, like when I'll be ready. Like I got a book now, like I'm ready now, but what's ready? Like, cause from what I heard, like they probably just like a record. I compare it to a record deal. They'll sign you and do whatever, but that's about it. Like, everything else, you could do your own footwork. Like,
You got to do it on your own.
yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Next time I interview a big guest, I'm gonna ask them. One thing I find weird is writers, artists, whoever, they don't promote themselves. So like, you see an actor or a rapper, singer, whatever, they go to these shows, podcasts, and say, hey, yeah, I got this thing coming out. Y'all should buy. But you don't see
comic book writers and artists, they don't. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't see.
They don't think to do it.
Yeah, you don't see. Can't think of a
Sanford Green and
yeah. You don't see Sanford Green walking down. The Jennifer Hudson Al.
Right.
You don't see that. So I find this weird, because if they do that, they probably get more sales and get more issues, or nowadays get picked up and do like a little TV show. Like
definitely got to.
Yeah, so
definitely
I'm gonna ask next time and see why they don't do it. But that's all I got for that segment. Got my last segment. It's called Digging the Crates. Another double meaning term. Comic books. You dive into old golden age stories you want to collect. Or music. You can find those and get some old songs. Old R&B songs. I'm go through this interview to find something that I might miss or didn't touch on that people want to leave out. And one thing, you said your parents was skilled both ways, in your creative side. I might be tripping, but that you start trying to draw, or you did draw, right?
Yeah. No, I draw. It's funny because I draw, but that's the one thing like I refuse to share online, man. People's I really don't care about people's opinions on most things, but when it comes to art, I've taken criticism badly in the past, and it keeps me from sharing my art online. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like when people try to give you critiques about your stuff. Like, for me, I know I'm not the best artist in the world, but if I'm drawing something, it's just something that I created. It's just something that I might not necessarily be trying to sell it or whatever, but I'm just drawing it and sharing it. I don't want your critiques. And people gonna give you their opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't share a lot of my art online. Like I'll share my graphic design stuff. I'll share lettering, stuff that people pay me to do. I'll share that stuff. But I just don't share art online as much.
What made you go the writing route versus the art route when you first started up?
I'm more confident in my storytelling ability. You know what I'm saying? I'm more confident in the stories that I write, that they will make sense in the end. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody reads this story, it'll make sense to them. It will impact them in the way that, I intended it to. Whereas art is very subjective. Like you might not get what I'm trying to do, and I can't force it to connect with you. You know what I'm saying? If I do an abstract painting that means something to me, it might mean something else to you. And your opinion on that is totally valid. But the stories that I write have a specific, goal, and I just feel more confident in that.
Okay. Well, that's all I got. Do you have any advice for upcoming creators? Marketing wise, writing wise, anything.
My advice for creators is to find whatever it is that you're good at and lean into it. You know what I'm saying? If you're good at talking to people, if you're good at networking, if you're good at drawing or drinking, whatever you're good at, capture it and put that content out there. Because if you give value to people, they'll stick around. You know what I'm saying? If you can show people how to do something, there are people who want to learn these things. Whatever you're good at, share it with people, and they will stick around.
Cool. No, that's dope. That's dope.
What
So,
about you? What's your advice? What's your advice for people before we go?
be consistent. Be consistent. Whatever you do, be consistent. I mean, keep doing long enough. Something happen.
There you go. There you go.
I read somewhere people I see it 3 times for the click. So the more times you do it, the more it clicks. Eventually, somebody will give you $1.
There you go.
So they're listening to it within the next 15, 17 days. They get your Kickstarter. But if they're listening later on, where can they find your stuff?
The best place to find me is my website, fourthwallpros.com, or I'm at the Aceblade on most of the social media platforms. So if you look up the Aceblade on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of them, you'll probably find me.
All right, it's cool. And once again, man, thanks for coming on, man. Enjoyed it. Good information, good talking.
Man, it's always good talking to you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
And then hopefully we get the the 10th issue and get them 2 extra novels you talking about too, Aceblade.
There we go.
All right, man. I'm out of here.